Leon Rose is a genius. The Knicks had interest in adding Matt Ryan to this roster. However, they wanted to keep a spot available on this team in case Landry Shamet returned from that dislocated shoulder. Unfortunately for New York, they could not afford to keep both players on this team. However, in a shocking move, the Knicks utilized the G League draft. They drafted both Matt Ryan and Landry Shamet to the Westchester Knicks. And because they did this, they now have control and flexibility for their roster moving forward. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks make an insane move. They utilize the G League draft to execute a master plan. For the last few days, we've been reporting on this channel that the Knicks have been interested in trying to add either Matt Ryan, Justin Holiday, or a couple of other veterans to this team. But there's only one problem with that. The Knicks currently have 12 players on traditional NBA contracts. They only have room for one more veteran, and then they can convert one of their rookies on a two-way deal to a standard NBA contract and get the minimum 14 players for the NBA roster. That way, the Knicks don't have to worry about any penalties come November 5th. But New York wants to add Matt Ryan to this team while also keeping an open roster spot available once Landry Shamet returns. The only issue is New York has the money available to add one more vet at the vet minimum to this team. They cannot afford to keep both Landry Shamet and Matt Ryan on this roster. However, in a shocking move, the Knicks utilized the G League draft to draft both Matt Ryan and Landry Shamet to the Westchester Knicks. Let's take a look at exactly what the Knicks did this afternoon. Shout out to the Strickland for giving us the following information. The Westchester Knicks are selecting Matt Ryan with the first overall pick in the 2024 NBA G League draft. The 6'6" White Plains native shot 45% from three in 28 games with the Pelicans last season and could join the Knicks in the coming months. And as you can see here, the Knicks utilized their first round pick and their second round pick in the 2024 NBA G League draft to get Matt Ryan and Landry Shamet on the Westchester Knicks. Never tell Leon Rose no. Never tell Leon Rose he can't do something. If you tell Leon you can get this guy, but you can't get this guy, the roster won't allow for it. You don't have enough money to afford both of these guys. Leon Rose will always find a way to get the moves that he wants done. Both of these guys, both of these free agents have been linked to the Knicks. New York wanted to add both of them to the roster, but they didn't have enough money to do that. So in a shocking move, they drafted both of them and added them to Westchester. Now, both of them are fully part of the Knicks organization moving forward. Now, you might be asking yourself, why did the Knicks utilize their draft picks in Westchester to draft Landry Shamet and Matt Ryan to the Westchester Knicks? Well, shout out to Ian Bagley for giving us the following information on why the Knicks did that. Shout out to Ian Bagley for giving us the following information. According to him, with the Knicks selecting Landry Shamet in the G League draft, it allows Shamet to rehab his shoulder dislocation with the organization. There was initial optimism that Shamet can avoid surgery. That optimism remains. The Knicks can maintain roster flexibility to have a spot for Shamet if he makes a full return from the shoulder injury. And according to NBA insider Mark Stein, he also agrees with Bagley, and he notes that the reason the Knicks selected Shamet was for the purpose of supervising his rehab. The Knicks have also had strong interest in trying to sign Matt Ryan to this team for the last couple of weeks, but they haven't been able to get a deal done. Now, with drafting him in the G League draft, they're able to get him as part of the Knicks organization. It's also important to note here that Mark Stein states that Landry Shamet and Matt Ryan are players that the Knicks covet. One thing is absolutely certain. The Knicks are invested and committed to Landry Shamet, even though they waived him. They didn't want to waive him. They wanted to keep him as part of this team because before he got injured, he was supposed to be a significant piece off the bench for New York. The Knicks have been trying to find a replacement for him ever since he went down. And that replacement is the other person they draft in Matt Ryan. His size, 6'6", the way he can shoot the ball, 45% from three last season with the New Orleans Pelicans. If he's spotting up in the corner for this Knicks team, it's a near automatic that he's hitting that shot and we're converting those 3 points. That's why the Knicks wanted him on this team. Again, another native New Yorker. It can't hurt to have another player like that as part of the Westchester Knicks. He's going to be able to get significant playing time there, develop a little bit more, and who knows, maybe he can turn into a legitimate piece off the bench for the Knicks in the next coming weeks. We don't know exactly what his role is going to be, but one thing we do know, once Landry Shamet is available and can return, he is going to be called up and he's going to be given a standard NBA contract to join this team. That was always the goal, and it seems like that's still the goal, given that the Knicks wasted one of their first-round picks in the G League draft to get him on this team. Leon Rose and this Knicks front office absolutely cooked. They pulled off a move that nobody was expecting. They were linked to these 2 free agents, but they could not afford them. So what did they do? They turned around and they drafted them. Both of these players in the NBA G League draft. They convinced Matt Ryan and Landry Shamet to declare for this draft and then drafted both of them to the Westchester Knicks. Nobody expected this move. Now they're off the market. New York has full access to both of them. And if they want to include them as part of this team, all they have to do is make the call. Call them up, add them to this roster, and then they could potentially have 14 players once they make that move. I think what they're going to do is they're going to add Matt Ryan to this team first. And then they're going to convert Ariel Hukporti and add him to this team as well, too. And that's your 14 players. Then, when we receive news that Landry Shamet is close to returning, Matt Ryan will be waived and then likely re-signed to Westchester, and Landry Shamet will be the one taking his spot as part of the standard rotation for this Knicks team. And he will be part of the standard rotation. That's what was happening during the preseason, and I absolutely anticipate that's what's going to happen once he returns and rejoins the bench. Landry Shamet was supposed to be a significant piece off the bench for New York. He was supposed to replace the shooting that we lost with Dante DiVincenzo. Nothing has changed in the Knicks' plans. The only changes here are the ways the Knicks are going to go about it. We thought we were going to be able to go into the season with Landry Shamet and not have to make any other roster adjustments. But then he got injured and the Knicks needed to make another move. They couldn't make the move that they wanted without having to sacrifice a piece that they didn't want to have to give up. So they turned around, added both of the players in the G League draft. They are now going to be able to add any one of them to the roster. And now, and most importantly, they can overlook Landry Shamet's recovery, how he's doing from that rehab, and make sure they're up to date with all of his updates. That way, when he's close to returning, they're going to know before anybody, and they can make the move to add him to the roster as quickly as possible. And once he's added back to this roster and clears all those contact drills, I think he will play significant minutes off the bench for New York because we need another player with size who can shoot. Landry Shamet gives you that. He obviously had good chemistry with the bench unit as well, and him and Deuce off the bench could be a very strong duo for New York. We're not going to be able to know exactly what the Knicks are going to run until all the pieces come together, but it's clear New York had a plan in place, and they executed that today during the G League draft. A place nobody thought the Knicks were going to make a move. They made a move. Credit to Leon Rose. Credit to this Knicks front office. And I am so thankful and happy that we finally have a competent Knicks front office guiding the ship. Because of that, each and every move the Knicks make, you know it's a move to help them get better in the future. But what about you guys? What do you think about the shocking move the Knicks just made, adding both Matt Ryan and Landry Shamet via the G League draft to the Westchester Knicks? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.